from the abyss, from wherever I've been hiding and not doing my lives, but I'm back. Apologies. I don't know whether to apologize if you've missed me or be, apologize for coming back, really. But welcome. Good morning, everybody. Just making sure that this feed has kicked in everywhere. Yes, it looks like it's kicked in, which is a good sign. So good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm just jumping onto the feed on my own feed myself, just to see that it's actually there, present and correct. Do let me know where you're joining from this morning. That would be nice to say hello and welcome you all back. I realize I've kind of like not been around, on lives for a little while, but morning, Justin. Morning, Maxine. I wanted to talk to you about social media and getting a really simple way to understand it. Because if you get it this way, it's like, oh my God, this makes it a whole lot easier. So good morning, everybody. So here's the way I help people understand social media, because it is very complex. There's algorithms, there's hacks, there's gurus, there's all this stuff. Morning, Andrew. There's all this stuff going on and it can kind of fry your brain. So here's the way you should think about it. Real simple way of thinking about it is, number one, think about it like the real world. Yeah. So imagine you've got a shop, right? So your social media accounts are your shop. Yeah. And you've got this little shop and it's in a back street, right? So just imagine this. You're in a back street. You've got a busy town center, like just down the road, but nobody's walking your way. So you've kind of got two options. Yeah. There's Egypt's too. Yeah. But every shop has weird and wonderful people who wander past and ask like if something's cheaper or all this stuff. But you've kind of got two options. You're in a back street. There's tons of people over there. The first thing is, okay, do I leave the shop and go where the people are and try and drag the people back? Yeah. So you see this a lot where you have these people with signs and they put them out ads. Yeah. So the people who put the signs out and go, hey, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Then there's the other people who try and leave their shop and, try and sell in the street. Yeah. Pitching. Yeah. They go out and pitch people, or they try and drag people back. So there's the people who put the ads out and drop leaflets. And then there's the people who go out and literally try and hustle customers to the shop. Ads, if you want to do ads, do ads. But most people don't want to be that person who goes and approaches people in the street to try and get them to come to their shop. Yeah. It's a bit pushy. Yeah. It's like canvases. So what you want to do is kind of figure out, how do I... Justin's been the guy with the speaker. Wow, Justin, that's brave. So you want to kind of go, how do I attract those people to come to that side street? Now, what's that side street? That side street is the feed of your users. Now, here's one of the things. Have you ever seen, when you've been out in a big city, you'll see these street performers? You ever seen these? One of the weird things about street performers, and this is a thing, is there's usually a I've done door-to-door sales in my early 20s. I did door-to-door sales. That was tough. And I'll tell you one funny story. I used to be, you may not believe this or not, but I used to be baggy jeans and baggy hoodie person many, many moons ago. And I knocked on this door once. And the person, I didn't get much out the door. I went, excuse me, went to do my door-to-door sales pitch. And they just stopped and said, sorry, we don't give to the homeless at the door. And I was like, shit, I need to change. Oh, swore. I need to change my fashion sense. But it was funny that they thought I was homeless when I was knocking on the door. But anyway, you've seen these street performers. So your shop is in a back street and you've got to get people to walk down that street. Yeah. To see your shop in the town center. You're off the main high street. You're off the main drag. So you need to get them to come and see it. So you need to get people to wander down that street that you're in and see your shop. One of the things people don't get is a crowd attracts a crowd. So if you get a little core crowd, it actually helps you get a bigger core crowd. So one of the things you have to do with your content on social media is actually get that initial traction that starts to get it to take off. A group of people, that are core, and it might be 2 or 3. And people get frustrated and disappointed by this. I've only getting 2 or 3, or that's fine. But those people at street performers, they will, when they get those big crowds, it's because the crowd attracts the crowd. 50% of that big crowd at that street performer came because of the other crowd. They wanted to see what everybody else was doing. And so sometimes you get frustrated thinking, why is this so tough? But actually what's happening is it's slowly growing, and a bit like anything, compounding benefit of something, 50% of all of the growth comes further down the road. So it's like, almost like, say for an example, and I'm just making arbitrary numbers up here, but let's say it took you 3-4 months to build an engaged audience of, say, 50 people. That sounds like terrifying, but 50 people engaged audience over 6 months. That 50 people is probably bringing the attention of probably another 200 people. Yeah. Or 300 people. You just won't see them all. Morning, Ashley. You just won't see them all initially. So you might have a tiny crowd right now who are seeing you. But those people, if you invest in those people and are consistent with those people, those eyeballs will bring more eyeballs. Their likes and their comments will ripple out through the platform and bring you more eyeballs, but you have to be consistent. So you've got to get them to see you, visibility, get them to see your shop. Then you've got to get them to see it consistently. So that's consistent output. Then you've got to kind of like go, okay, I've got to get them to look in the window. And this is the bit where everybody gets really frustrated. Yeah, Justin, momentum multipliers. Yeah. Most of your success will actually come in the last slog. It's almost like 80% of the work will get you, the 80% of the initial work will get you 20% of the result. But then the final 20% actually unlocks the 80%. It's just crazy. Yeah, it's just crazy that some people are going, oh, I'm only getting 1 or 2. I might as well skip it. I might as well, that one posted really rubbish, so I'll not bother tomorrow. And actually what's happening is you're going progress, step back, progress, step back, progress, step back. Instead of leveling it all out, being consistent, you start to get it. Anyway, so now we get to the point where we want them to seriously look in the shop window. In other words, what have we got to offer? Now, this won't happen because of one post. Yeah. And you're fooling yourself if you think one post will get people to be interested. People are going to need to see that shop front multiple times. Yeah. They're going to have to walk past and go, oh, what's that? Yeah. And they've got to get them curious enough to go, I'll walk in. Newsflash, right? I work with a lot of clients in the B2B and retail sectors. I can tell you now, human behavior in a retail store and human behavior anywhere else is exactly the same. It's exactly the same. 84%, might be 82. Let's say 82. I've not checked the stat this morning, but I think it's between 82 and 84% of consumers make a decision to buy something at the shelf at the point, where it's displayed. 82%. So that means when you walk into a supermarket, when you walk into a shop, it's highly likely that you're going to buy something. 82% of people decide to buy something there and then, unplanned. So social media, we're not B2C or we're not B2B, it doesn't matter. People are looking around. We got to get them to peer into the shop. In other words, get our offer out there, but draw people in with value so that they stay around. Let them get to know us so that they get to bond and gel with us. Because if we're selling a service, it is very much about the people behind the service. Get them to bond and gel with us. Get them to understand the value. They've stuck around because they've had some value. They've had some interest. It's been engaging for them. Then they start to see our offers, what we're selling. Yeah. Now they're not going to see it once and click and buy. They're going to see it a couple of times. And this is where that consistency game plays again. In a shop, they wander around, they pick things up, they have a look at it. You know, what do they think? They're processing it in their mind and looking, pondering it. Shall I buy it? Shall I not? And they will eventually reach that decision point. Now, you can, of course, once they're in the shop, try and help them, walk over to them. But fundamentally, you've got to get them interested in the shop. That's about the window display. What are you putting in your content that helps people see that you can make a difference in their world? Yeah, they get them to seriously consider checking out your website, checking out your landing page, downloading that PDF, to all tell you they need what you sell. And what most people do is they think that will happen in one hit, and it won't. And actually, if you look at cold outreach, the stats on cold outreach right now are that if you want to get a lead, just a lead, somebody who's maybe potentially interested in a call, it doesn't mean they come to the call, just they might be interested in the call. The current stat from one of the leaders in cold outreach in the, I think in Europe, their current stat is if you want one lead, you'll have to send 100 people 4 outreach messages. So you'd have to send 400 outreaches to basically 100 people. So 4 for each to get one lead. That's the stat. 400 emails, direct messages to 100 people to get one lead. So if you think about it, if you flip this round, social media allows you to basically build a crowd who can mass educate. You can mass educate and get mass belief. Now that mass might be 20 people, it might be 200 people, but you've got to go, I've got to get the crowd to see me. I've got to get a percentage of that audience to actually pay attention. Yeah. To really look and spend time with me. Yeah. So I've got a crowd to just look, a crowd to just give me some time, spend some time with me on a regular basis. Then I've got to get them into the shop, coming to look and browse. Yeah. Most people on social media, by the way, are not thinking about buying something. They discover it. And if it's a bigger ticket item, they discover it over time, and they discover their need for it over time. Then we have to give them a mechanism to convert them into clients. Yep. So this is about making sure that your price point, what they're buying, what that does for them. If I was buying clothing and I walked into a clothing shop, I look at the price of the item. Yep. I look at what's the item feel like? Does it feel like good quality? That's like your features. What's it made of? Am I happy with it? But then I am also imagining where I could wear that clothing. What would it be like? And I've almost imagined, the compliment. Oh, I like that new shirt, Dean. Or yeah, I've imagined all of that. That's what we call is your offer. In other words, what will it do for people? What's the result? What's the emotions involved? All of that stuff that help you think about it. What's the price tag? And what's it made up of? Yeah, what's it made of? So if I was buying a pair of jeans, it would be denim. What's the brand name on the denim? What's the price? And where would I wear them? And do I like the look of them when I try them on? All of that kind of stuff is my offer. And that offer package is something people discover over time. People don't just go, oh yeah, I'll have them. They think about it and go, oh, maybe I could wear them. Or they remember, they go away and then I have a social occasion, go, there was a smart pair of jeans. I'll go back and get them. That's what the offer is. What most people think is their offer is actually, this is my service, this is the price. That's not an offer. That's a transaction. Yeah. Most people are not buying transactionally. The people who buy transactionally, it's what's the jeans? How much are they? When it becomes like that, it's like, well, actually, I can go to George, or I can go to Tesco, or I can go to Primark and get jeans, and I can pay half the price. But these jeans, obviously, they're better quality. There's a better brand name. There's a better reputation that goes with them. But also, when people buy a brand, they're aligning themselves with a particular lifestyle choice, a particular image, and all of that stuff. Morning, David. So what I'm trying to get at is, if you think about B2C and bring that to social media, even if you're B2B, you will win. But you don't see people who are selling high value stuff in a retail context. It's very rare you will see, very, very rare, that you will see brands that sell value. Yeah. So they're not, by value, I'm not meaning cheap. I'm meaning something that's the price and its cost of production are vastly different. Yeah. If I look at, say, Ralph Lauren, their jeans cost an absolute fortune. Do they cost more than Primark's? Marginally more, probably, but we pay significantly more for them, for the brand, for what the brand aligns us with, the brand's reputation, the brand's expertise. Yeah, that's you. So we pay a premium because it's a brand. People will pay you a premium because you can help them get to an outcome or a result. Yeah. Oh, don't get me started on Balenciaga, but I can't even pronounce it. It's just, oh my God, the pricing is horrendous. If you operate transactionally, you will get transactional customers. If you operate based on value, you will get people who buy the value, the brand. Now, I'm not saying you have to become a social media superstar, but if you want to position yourself as a more premium service, you can't then go and behave like a transactional business. In other words, think about cold outreach. Would you ever get a cold outreach from Ralph Lauren saying, hey, we've got a great load of clothing on offer today? They might do that with your existing customers. I get that promotions from Ralph Lauren, but I don't get cold outreach from them, right? Why? Because it's not their deal. They don't even put their prices on their ads because they don't want you to. It's like, money. That's people don't buy us because of how cheap things are. So what I'm trying to get at is, think about what you're trying to do with social media. And if you start to put out kind of transactional promotions, like, for an example, 2 for 1, and I'm not saying literally do this, but if your approach is wrong, you actually end up with the wrong customers. Yeah, Mike, it is. You end up with the wrong customers. In other words, I'm going to sell you this phone, right? I'm going to sell you this gadget. This is what it does. This is what it is. This is the price. Or do you take people on a journey where they believe in you and trust you and want to work with you because they believe you are the answer to their problem? That's where the value is, because people buy into people, and a brand is a personality. And so you and your social media is about you positioning yourself on the value you create. So I don't just buy things because I want it and it's functional and I've read all the specs. I buy it because of other emotive reasons. I said last night in a post, if you want to be successful with your post, get people to thinking pictures. So let me leave you with that thought. If you want people to remember you, if you want people to remember your value, your content should get people to thinking in pictures, not words. That's one way to eliminate transactional. Get people to think in pictures. So if your offer doesn't conjure up a picture for people, it's probably transactional. So imagine this, your store right now, there's 1 or 2 people pass your shop every single day, your social media feed. Yeah, they wander past it, they see it. What are you doing to draw them in? What are you doing to change your content, to draw them in, to get them to pay attention to you? What are you doing to make that happen? How are you helping them get interested enough to step inside the store and browse? By that, I mean, they spend more time on your posts, have a look, and spend and give you their attention. And they give your attention regularly. I'll tell you now, they will not give you their attention just because you demand it. They won't give you your attention just because you've got something wonderful. You've got to make it wonderful for them. And this is the fundamental disconnect people have on social media. It's not what I want. What I want, let me tell you what I want from social media. I want people to just go, oh, Dean's posted. I'm going to like and comment on it every single day because I love his stuff. That's not going to happen. I have to do something. I have to work to create something that people want to comment on. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Mike. I'll pay you later. So I have to do some effort. I have to convince you to like and comment. I can't tell you. I can't expect it. And if I'm boring, if I'm uninterested, if I'm not adding any value, I will move on. You will move on. I'm not going to like just because you put something there. I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to consider your product or service just because you put it out. Right? That's like hoping that the person who sees your post, it's like stars align. I'm going to put out a promotional post, and right at that moment, in that moment, at that time, on that day, of that moment, of that week, another person is looking for exactly that. That's not selling. That's not marketing. That's luck. So if you think about it, you consistently put out a well-constructed offer, which is what it does, what it is, how much it is, and what's the emotive result? What's it going to do for them? What's the transformation it's going to bring? Every business transforms people, by the way. Every business creates transformation. That's your offer. Get people to thinking pictures. If your offer gets people to think in pictures, it's a winning offer. If it just gets people to think in words, it's not. So social media is like running a shop. Get people to walk past it, get people to pay attention to it, get people to walk in it, get people to browse in it, and then they buy. Crowd to client. If you don't have that process, what you might have is a bottleneck somewhere. It could be you have a big crowd, but they're not converting. It could be you don't have enough of a crowd to actually make the money out the other end. But that is a system that you have to follow on social media. If you don't follow it, you'll be frustrated forever trying to figure out why is it not working? Why are things not working? So if you have to ask, you can't afford. Yeah, exactly. So look, guys, hopefully that was helpful. This is my first kind of live back, and I felt a little bit nervous about doing it because I got into the swing of it, and then I was ill for a couple of days. Bank holiday got in the way. Then I was ill for a couple of days again, and this is my first one back. But it's just, I just scroll on social media and I look, and there's some people who are doing really good stuff in terms of adding value to people, being useful to people, getting people to see their store. And then there's other people, it's like, I sometimes look and go, you realize you've got like a piece of the puzzle missing, right? Because all you're doing is promoting. And it's like, at some point you have to go, this is not working. And, you know, I've done, I'm just thinking whether I say this will get me in trouble. I've seen people who are so fixated on trying to sell, like obsessed, so eager, because for genuine reasons. Yeah. They've built something that's amazing. They're really excited about it. But also they're hungry to make money, which, you know, we all want to make money, right? I'm not dissing that. But sometimes it can betray you. It can actually screw with your mind. Yeah. Justin, you are the store. So if you're a converged AV technology expert, you have to talk all things audio and add value to it, and then grow your network with anybody who potentially could be a client. Yeah. You can't, if you try and play it the other way around and try and, you know, that's all you can do. And there's various different stages in the process. So for an example, I will do a webinar about a particular topic, but I will do it about a pain related to that topic that I know I can fix. And then I invite my network. And if people resonate with that issue or resonate with that goal that they want to achieve, they show up, they sign up. And that tells me, you know, if it's some weeks I get 500 signups, some weeks I get 200 signups, sometimes I get 1,400 signups. I don't expect all of them to sell, but what I'm doing is I'm gathering a crowd, footfall around me of people who resonate with either a goal or a pain point, and I pull them around. So what I'm getting at, some people are so flipping eager to sell, it betrays them. It absolutely betrays them. And what they do is, I see it lots. Every post is promotional. Every post is like got some sales angle. Every post is branded up, and it's like, what are you doing? Please stop. And they think that if they don't do that, they won't get customers. But actually, what they're doing so aggressively is actually repelling customers. They're not building the crowd. So if you're eager to promote, here's a real simple mix you can do. 20% of your posts, make them personal, about you. Yeah, something you're going on in your world, something you want to share about you. Let people get to know you. 20% promotional. Yeah, so 20% of your posts are actually promoting something. 20% educational. In other words, giving people information, helping people understand things better, light bulb moments. 20% actionable. In other words, giving people something that they can use. So that's like how-to-y stuff. Yeah. And then the final bit is 20% what I call engagement, which could be a poll. It could be something funny. It could be something emotive, all of that stuff. You only need one promotional post. If you do too many, one out of 5, 2 out of 10, if you do too many, you just push people away. It's much better that they hang around you and learn. Now, you can amp that up by increasing posting frequency and stuff like that. I have a high frequency posting schedule, but fundamentally, if you're posting once a day, 5 days a week, one of them should be promotional. One of them should be. It doesn't mean you can't post a blog that helps people, that kind of tells a story, but you don't want to be promoting. Yeah. Yeah, Mike's got a point. It's a balanced diet. It's a balanced diet. So look, the eagerness to sell will actually force you to go, I've got to find leads, I've got to find leads, I've got to find leads. And then what happens is you pursue that in the total wrong way. What you want to do is gather that crowd and basically think about it like they're in different levels of proximity. Some people just see your posts and go, that's a nice guy, that's a nice person, whatever. Some people go, I really like this stuff, so I'm going to engage a bit more often. Then there's some people who go, do you know what? I really like that Dean. I think he's got some good ideas, and I see he does a few things. I might have a look at them. Then there's some people who actually go, yeah, I'm going to buy. Why does that work? It's human nature. Why does that? We map it out into kind of concentric circles and go, right, there's a crowd, get the crowd. Now you want the connected audience, the people who are seeing you and spending time with you regularly. Then it's about the core group of people. They're almost like the people like you're building a little fan base. Then you take that little fan base into the client base. And of course, there's the scenarios where people leapfrog and jump, but that's what you're generally doing day to day. You're just moving people through. Why is that good? Well, it means you have you're building a long-term pipeline of people that will come into your world, learn about you. Some will buy, some won't, but they'll all be coming into your world. So you've got a constant stream of people coming into your world. Number one. Number two, it takes a lot of the pressure out of selling, because if people already believe in you, already trust you, already know who you are, it's far easier to convert them into a client in bite-sized chunks rather than try and do a massive move by going, I'm going to cold outreach you, or I'm going to DM you. And even though we've never seen each other, we've never interacted before, we've never met, I'm going to try and take you from a complete stranger to a client without all of that journey. That's tough gig. That is a tough gig. Anybody who has to do that, it is tough. So that's why if you go, right, I've got bite-sized stages here, build a crowd, get some of that crowd actually connected. In other words, get visibility, grow the audience who are engaging with me regularly because they're getting value. Turn some of that engaged audience into a fan base. Yeah, I know that's a cheesy way of putting it in B2B, but it's true. People who love what you do, really believe in it, get value from it on a regular basis, and then take some of that core crowd, that fan base, and go, right, how do I move them now into paying clients? And that is just a process, but actually it's a process that's broken down into simple stages that you can actually go, is this working? Is this working? Right. Is this working? Is this working? Done. And it's a very straightforward process. Anyway, I'm going to shut up and go. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. If I've rambled a little bit, apologies. I love to know what you think on this stuff. So thank you for everybody who's commented. Thank you for all the people who follow me, all of that stuff. Really do appreciate it. And if you've got some ideas on this, please do keep commenting on this video. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you like, dislike. Really love to know. And also, I'd love to know what you struggle with on social media, because I'm going to try and theme these to go, okay, Dean's going to tackle something and talk about something that's useful to the people who are watching and joining. So, adios.